Lewis Hamilton may have looked downcast at Formula One's last race in Saudi Arabia, with Ferrari's new recruit struggling to match his teammate Charles Leclerc. But he was all smiles at sports merchandise brand Fanatics' new London store opening last weekend, with the 40-year-old stating he's not going to give up on the season. Hamilton was jubilant after storming to his maiden sprint win in Shanghai, his first victory in red, and first in F1 since last year's Belgian Grand Prix. But it's since been a tougher road, with his best fifth in Bahrain. But in front of thousands of fans on London's Regent Street, Hamilton cut the ribbon to open the store and pledged to fight on.
I'm so lucky to have the support from so many of you and people around the world. It's something I never ever thought that I'd ever have growing up in a small town in Stevenage. But being in London under the sun, I'm so proud of Brits. I'm so proud of the sporting fans that we have. Please keep your fingers crossed. I'm not going to give up. We're going to keep getting better.
Madrid-born driver Carlos Sainz has signed off on his home circuit ahead of its debut next year, with the 22-corner Madrid layout revealed and the track's foundation stones set as construction begins. The race in Madrid, set to be the only European capital on F1's calendar upon its return to the sport after 45 years in 2026, will be held in the area surrounding the IFEMA Conference and Convention Center. The 5.4-kilometer layout is hoped to provide a mix of excitement and technical challenges, with 57 laps expected for its Grand Prix. The construction kickoff has eased concerns the event wouldn't happen, with a joint venture between Spanish firm Acciona and France's Eiffage Construction only announced last week. The event is expected to generate 500 million euros for the region, with plans to become the best F1 experience in Europe. Miami is set to restyle the grid, with Ferrari and Red Bull's second team Racing Bulls again set to run special one-off liveries there. Last year, the Prancing Horse ran 2 historic shades of blue to celebrate its 70th anniversary in the American marketplace and addition of new title sponsor HP. But while there were other activations ahead of the race, no team could beat the then V-Carb in Miami, which took its car to South Beach for a quick rinse and chameleon touch-up. With that livery launch event another example of Red Bull's trademark style in mixing the F1 business with glamour and fun.
You know, it's an incredible moment, to be here in the US, with our two very strong US partners, with Visa, with Cash App, to have this sort of moment, to have this sort of, global event, and it's fun as well.
McLaren's Oscar Piastri has revealed there is a softer side to him, with the ice-cool Australian stating that he has been overcome with emotion a couple of times through his career. Piastri has been compared with the now retired Iceman Kimi Räikkönen this year for his laid-back, almost emotionless approach to racing, with his 3 wins so far this year calm and controlled. But the Australian says his relaxed state of mind is intentional to keep him in the zone during pressured Grand Prix weekends. I think it comes somewhat naturally being calm and trying to stay relaxed, but there's a lot of conscious effort on that as well, he said. Staying with McLaren, where its chief operating officer Piers Thin says the team is remaining flexible with regard to its 2026 switchover, with lots of performance still to come for the class-leading MCL 39. McLaren has won 4 of the first 5 races, but can't take its foot off the throttle, with rival Red Bull bearing down on it. And Thin, in a chat with F1's official podcast Beyond the Grid, says that the squad is flat out with concurrent running of its 25 and 26 projects.
We want the most performance in both of those swim lanes. So you can't have rigidity, you've got to have agility to be able to trade on a 24-hour basis to go, I'm swinging it more one way or more the other. And at the moment, we've got lots of performance coming for this year's car, and that will be harvested when it will make the most difference. But naturally, we do have a point in time where you have to swing some or most of the organisation over to next year's car.
"2026 F1 entrant Cadillac had plenty to shout about ahead of Miami, with its parent company General Motors approved by the FIA last week as an official power unit supplier from the 2029 season. Cadillac was approved for 2026 in March, with initial plans to run Ferrari power units until GM joined in 2030. But it's now brought that schedule forward by 1 year, with development work ongoing. With this approval from the FIA, we will continue to accelerate our efforts to bring an American-built F1 power unit to the grid, said Russo Blends, CEO of GM Performance Power Units. Cadillac is set to stage a global launch event for its F1 team at Queen Miami Beach on May 3rd, which it says will be the cultural centerpiece of the Miami Grand Prix weekend. FIA President Mohammed bin Sulayem has sought to shore up support in the governing body, with the Emirati nominating Malcolm Wilson OBE for the now vacant position of Deputy President for Sport. Wilson, who replaces the recently departed Robert Reid, is a motorsport icon as an ex-rally driver and the founder of M Sport, which runs Ford's entry in the World Rally Championship. The FIA has played a central role in my career, and I very much look forward to supporting the President and all the FIA family in its important mission, Wilson said. bin Sulayem's FIA remains a political hotbed. Reid, who left on the eve of the Bahrain Grand Prix, cited a fundamental breakdown in governance standards, a point backed up by its former CEO Natalie Robin, who said it had serious ongoing structural challenges. Though the FIA refuted Reid's reasoning in a later statement that said it has exceptionally robust corporate governance policies. F1 has rejected a return to V10 engines for the foreseeable future and has reconfirmed its commitment to 2026's regulations following the most recent meeting of its power brokers. Rumors that V10s could make their return ramped up in China, despite major manufacturers like Audi and Ford signing on from 2026 for a more simplified hybrid power unit. The Sport introduced its current power unit comprising 1.6-litre turbo V6 engines with multiple energy recovery systems in 2014, as automotive manufacturers turned their focus to electrification plans. The F1 Commission will discuss potential minor refinements to 2026's power unit regulations ahead of the Miami Grand Prix. The American focus continued last week at the iconic Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where top local open-wheel series Indycar held its traditional two-day open test ahead of the Indy 500. At the end of day one, Chip Ganassi's Scott Dixon just pipped Penske's Joseph Newgarden after the Kiwi clocked 225.182 miles per hour. Day two saw a high-boost morning session to prep for qualifying, with a number of high-speed crashes, including Arrow McLaren's Kyle Larson and Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing's Takuma Sato. Penske's Scott McLaughlin came out on top, while Chip Ganassi's Alex Palou had the edge in the lowered boost afternoon session, which was more representative of race pace. The 109th running of the Indianapolis 500 will be held on May 25th, the same day as Formula One's Monaco Grand Prix. Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.